I thought I had almost 1 foot in the grave. So I must say I thank you, Miss Press Secretary. Next time, give her one sentence. That sounds like I had about 50 years of experience. Well, first and foremost, I see Commissioner Horan here, so everybody, please wave it out, Commissioner. I appreciate him coming out today. I know Congressman Mike is on his way, correct? All right. And first of all, you know, we do have a lot of celebrities here, but Mr. Sneed is here, and he used to be Regional Director for Public Health in this area. So, Mr. Sneed, can you wave? So y'all probably didn't even recognize that, right? All right. And for our Master of Ceremonies, Miss May, give her a hand. Because she was very apprehensive in coming to a cemetery and being the MC. And I told her, I said, if I could give the keynote, I'm sure you can show up. I'm sort of apprehensive too. I only show up at cemeteries when I think I'm about ready to die. I want to be on time for a change. So, before I get started, for those of you that are not veterans, you know, bear with me. Because I'm going to share some things that most veterans don't share. Because we have a particular mystique. And as I begin to have a dialogue with you today, you will understand that I have a very particular mystique as well. And only every once in a while will I open up and share a few things about some of the strange experiences that I've had along the path of being a veteran. But hopefully the dialogue and the conversation will spark some thought. And to me, that's very critical as we move forward as a nation. So in 2011, more than 1.3 million veterans received specialized care for mental health at a hospital setting. Today, I'm going to discuss at least 3 major points. Okay. First and foremost, homelessness and its impact on veterans. The war on veterans. Yes, I said the war on veterans. And post-traumatic stress disorder. And the invisible wounds of war. So, I'm going to reflect back a little bit into my early childhood. I had an aunt, she was a short, feisty woman. Stood about 5'5". There's always something about short people sometimes. They tend to be feisty. She was divorced. She didn't play a lot of games. And so, at a young age, I was walking with her to the store. I might have been 7 at the time. And she asked me a question that was very profound. She said, what do you want to do with your life? And it was profound to me because I was 7 years old. And I'm like, why does this woman ask me this crazy question? What do I want to do with my life? I'm only 7 years old. Did she check? But I had an answer. And my answer was, I wanted to go to college, play football, and I wanted to be an architect. And now I would be honest with you. I didn't know what an architect was at the time, okay? Because I really wanted to be an artist. But my mama told me, artists don't make money until they dead, right? But what I was telling her, the reason I came with that answer was because I saw a guy on the street, and he was a bum. And I just politely looked at my aunt and I said, you know, I really just don't want to be like him. So, a few days later, I'm having a conversation with my mom, and I'm sharing her about this story. And she says, oh, you mean that homeless guy on the corner? That guy's name is Skip. And I said, Skip? I said, well, how do you know Skip? And she said, well, Skip went to high school with me. And graduated from high school, he got drafted, and he went into the Vietnam War. He came back home, and everybody remember those times. You couldn't find a job. There was an attack on most soldiers that came back. People spat on them. And so, you know, the things that he saw at war, even though he came back fully intact, his mental capacity began to deliberate over time. that was my first real opportunity to see the impact of homelessness and going to war. And I vowed at that time that I would never join the military because I thought the military was not a place for African American men. Understanding the prevalence of and the risk of homelessness among veterans is a prerequisite to preventing and ending homelessness in this population. According to the Center for Disease Control, homeless veterans are at the highest risk for chronic diseases, including diabetes, hypertension, and COPD. Veterans are overrepresented among the homeless population in this country. So, I'm gonna take a step back for a moment. Why do people join the military? Think about that for a moment. Because the first thing that comes to mind to me tends to be patriotism, right? At least that's what many want to believe. When I joined, I looked at it as an opportunity to train our youth. I thought I could provide some leadership and enhance my job skills. I walked into it already with a degree. And I joined not using a degree, but as an E4. And I would explain what that means. But when you really look at the scenario, for others, I witnessed something deeper manifestation in our society. Something that is deeply rooted in the building of our nation. There are citizens that join because they want a way out of poverty. So let's be honest. They view the military as a better source of income. So with that being said, statistical wise, do we see a lot of wealthy families or upper middle class relatives join the military? If you have no degree and you join the military now, your salary would be $18,378 as an E1 in the U.S. Army. As an E4 or E5, your salary would be $26,172 per year. Imagine if you got kids. Let me put it another way. At that current salary, you qualify for WIC and food stamps. How much is the salary of just a frontline worker right now at Walmart? Is that salary higher than $18,000 a year? Is it close? As a nation, we need to begin to address that. No one should make the ultimate sacrifice for this country and live in poverty. No one. Others join for the hope of going to college, and then they find themselves at war. I remember vividly talking to a group one day, and I just asked the question, why did they join? I mean, this seems to be a common question to all veterans. Why did you join? The large majority of the crowd raised their hand and said, I joined to go to college. I said, okay. I ran into one of those people when I was in Iraq in 2006. They happened to be in my unit. My unit was a special unit because we covered 14 towers. It was in the heart of Taj, Iraq. It was a highly populous city, about 8 miles from Baghdad. The tower stood 30 feet in the air. When I arrived, there was no ballistic glass to protect it. There was no camouflage. There was no sandbags. It was just a big 50 cal machine type gun. 2 people had died in that tower previously We had 14 of them, and we was protecting the base of 25,000 people. Now, I joined to drive Hemi, big trucks, deliver fuel. I also was over maintenance and operations. When I got there, I was thrust into manning these towers. So one of these individuals came crying. Remember, they joined because they wanted to go to college. They wanted a better life. Now I'm asking them to walk up 30 feet of stairs to get in the tower to protect the base. And it's the hottest spot in Iraq. So they crying, and I'm trying to talk them down, and I said to them, I said, well, look, my goal here today is to make sure every time you on ship that you return back safely. Our current operations on ground before I arrived was we didn't shoot at anybody, even if they shot at us. And so that's why people were dying. So I talked to the leadership and I said, look, if somebody threatened, I got rules of engagement cards. I'm gonna arm every one of these soldiers. If something looks like it possesses a hostile intent, I'm commanding them to shoot. Because my objective at the end of the day is not to lose one person and to bring everybody home. That's it. And I told that